Now people will say, well, what's the harm in like these statues? You go out soul winning, you're probably just so used to seeing like little fat Buddhas in people's gardens and stuff like that. And you're seeing, all these different, graven images and statues and stuff. You'll see skinny Buddha, you'll see fat Buddha, you'll see Hindu Buddha. You'll see all these different things. But, even animals and things like that, I mean, God made a provision about worshiping idols. Why is it such a big deal? Well, because they represent something. They represent their false god. And anybody that says, well, Buddhism isn't really, religion where you worship anybody, well, then why are you making a statue of them? Why are you giving offerings to them then? Why are you putting orange peels and, vodka or whatever? It's probably not vodka, it's probably sake or whatever. Some kind of alcoholic beverage. You're giving them offerings, you're giving them drinks, you're giving them food, you're letting lettuce rot there, some cabbage or whatever. You're doing that because you're making an offering to that God. Don't try to fool me. I know exactly what that is. The Bible calls it idolatry. It says, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice, what does it say there? To devils. Excuse me, and not to God. And I would not that you should have fellowship with devils. Why is it a big deal? Because of what it represents. Obviously, those statues can't hurt us. But, people are tied to the worship of those things. That makes them evil. And, when the Muslims blew up that giant Buddha in whatever country that was, is several years ago now, people were so upset about it, but I thought it was funny. I mean, I don't think that we should go around just like damaging people's stuff, but again, if we were living under the times of Old Testament Israel, those statues would be getting destroyed and dashed in pieces, and the people that were worshiping them would be in a lot of trouble too. So, but I just wanted to show you that, the things that the Egyptians are worshiping, the pictures that they're drawing them of something that they believe in worship. And it's a false god. It's idolatry. God hates idolatry. It's the beginning of the end for civilizations when they start being drawn to idolatry. It's funny, in Washington, D.C., there's just statues everywhere. Yeah. Greek gods, Roman gods, everywhere. And then, of course, the founding fathers that they paint and make giant statues of and things like that. But, those things are graven images. They're not supposed to be being made. Isn't it weird that Washington, D.C. is formed in a pentagram? Just go on Google Earth, if you don't believe me, and just zoom into Washington, D.C., and it's the perfect Baphomet pentagram inside the outline. You're like, well, some Masons did that. Nobody knew about that. Are you telling me that the people, the engineers that built all that stuff and designed all the streets, they weren't in on it? Like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Why would you make the streets parallel like that and make these weird angles? It's because it's the devil.